Hello students, so in this video we are going to discuss about the most important case. It is because of this Keshavananda Bharati case judgment our constitution is considered as the most powerful than the legislature, executive and judiciary. And it is because of this case the new phase of India has started. Let us go into the details of the Keshavananda Bharati case. So, Keshavananda Bharati was the head of the Edniyar Mutt in Kasaragod district of Kerala. During 1950s and 1960s, the state government all over the India has introduced several policies and laws regarding the land reforms. Kerala's Land Reform Act of 1963 was one among it. So, to abolish the zamindari system, tenancy laws, and to reduce concentration of wealth in few hands, this act was introduced. And its main aim was to take away the vast land from the wealthy people and distribute among the poor and the landless. So, Edniyar Mutt in Kerala has 400 acres of land, and Kerala government under the Land Reforms Act of 1963 took away 300 acres of the Edniyar Mutt. So, Edniyar Mutt started facing financial problems. So, Keshavananda Bharati, who was the head of the Edniyar Mutt, filed a case against the Kerala government in 1970, and he has challenged 24th Constitutional Amendment Act, 25th and 29th Constitutional Amendment Acts. So here the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act was states that Parliament has the power to amend any provisions of the Constitution, and 25th Constitutional Amendment Act states that right to property can be taken away and the compensation for the taken land will be decided by the Parliament. This is 25th Constitutional Amendment Act, and 29th Constitutional Amendment Act also was challenged, and this includes land reforms in the 9th schedule. So anything which are included in the 9th schedule should not be questioned, and judicial review also cannot be done. So, Keshavananda Bharati has challenged these three constitutional amendment acts. Those three are 24th, 25th and 29th constitutional amendment acts. So, to solve this case, the longest bench of the judges consisting of 13 members were formed. And the total number of Supreme Court judges at that time were only 16 members. And out of the 16 members, to give this judgment, 13-member bench was formed. Imagine how long the constitutional bench of judges was. So they gave a judgment with 7:6 majority. The case proceeded for 68 days and gave 703 pages long judgment on April 23, 1973. And in 2023, it has completed 50 years of this landmark judgment. Okay, so for that reason, this was in news. So, the landmark judgment was the introduction of the basic structure of the Constitution. So, the Supreme Court has stated that, in the judgment, the Supreme Court has stated that Parliament can amend any provision of the Constitution, but it should not change the basic structure of the Constitution. It also stated that Parliament has the power to take away any of the fundamental rights without changing the basic structure of the Constitution. So with this judgment, Supreme Court has overruled the Golaknath case, where it stated that the Parliament could not curtail fundamental rights. But in this judgment, overruling the Golaknath case, it stated that Parliament has the power to take away any of the fundamental rights without changing the basic structure of the Constitution. So now what is this basic structure doctrine? So the Supreme Court did not define the basic structure, nor it has mentioned anywhere in the Constitution. It stated that based on the cases, the Supreme Court will decide whether it comes under the basic structure or not. So, for example, Indira Gandhi in Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan case of 1975, this case is about election disputes, and under the 39th Constitutional Amendment Act, the Supreme Court should not interfere in the election disputes. But Supreme Court, using the basic structure doctrine, for the first time striked off the 39th Constitutional Amendment Act in 1975. Okay, and the other case which deals with this is Minerva Mills case of 1980. So here in this case, the Supreme Court has stated that Parliament's power to amend the Constitution must not damage or destroy the basic structure. And in Vaman Rao case of 1981, Supreme Court has stated that the doctrine of basic structure will not apply for the past judgments. And in Quixote Holohan versus Zachilhu case 1992, the Supreme Court stated that free and fair elections to the features of, it has added that free and fair elections to the basic structure features. And in the Indira Sani case versus Union of India 1992, rule of law was added to the features of basic structure. And in SR Bommai versus Union of India case of 1994, federal structure, unity and integrity of India, secularism, socialism, social justice and judicial review were added to the features of the basic structure. So these are all about the applications and the evolution of the basic structure doctrine. So here, now what is this significance of the basic structure doctrine? So the significance is that the doctrine of basic structure serves as a check on the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution. It also ensures that the Constitution is a living document and thus it can be amended as per the changes in the society without disturbing the fundamental elements of the Constitution. Thus, it was because of this Keshavananda Bharati case the new framework for India has started. It secures the basic features of the Constitution, and it was because of this case our Constitution became more powerful than any other body. Even though Keshavananda Bharati lost the case, it was because of him the new phase of our Indian Constitution has begun, and the basic principles of our Constitution has secured because of the Keshavananda Bharati case.